My dream is coming true. Dreams sometimes come true. I would like one of those magic money computers, not gonna lie. But meanwhile, this is the next best thing for any YouTuber or content creator who focuses on US politics and has an ounce of common sense. Breaking: AOC seen as leader of the Democratic Party with Kamala Harris close behind, according to a CNN poll. Oh my God, this is going to be, this is like Megan says that there's gonna be two seasons of her cooking show, and she's gonna do a podcast which I'm not going to listen to, but I'm going to talk about that either way. I don't care. This is content gold. Content gold. I'm gonna have content. So in these pictures, Little Report, you picked the best pictures, the absolute best pictures to depict this. Kamala seems the party of joy, 100%. And AOC, well, AOC looks like, well, her ideas. She's representing her own ideas perfectly, to a T. But what else? Thanks, Matt Swain. AOC led with a mere 10% of the vote. It's not like she's got a lead. It's just 1% over Kamala. Essentially, the party has no leader. They are in this kind of fight to see who is, let's say, who can guide the Democrat Party to better shores. The problem is the new generation are communists, and the Clinton, Obama, Pelosi brain trust is aging out after blowing their political capital on Kamala and Biden. You remember I made a video about Michelle Obama's podcast as well and how it bombed. Make sure that you watch it. Maybe we can say a couple of things about Michelle's podcast at the end of this live. But how are the numbers going? It's Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, 10%. It's the only one breaking two digits. Only one breaking two digits, followed very closely by Kamala Harris with 9%, Bernie Sanders with 8%, Hakeem Jeffries 6%, Barack with 4%, Jasmine Crockett, we're going to be talking about Jasmine, 4%, Gavin Newsom, which has the insurmountable challenge of becoming somebody in the Democrat Party, being, how to say this without offending Gavin? I don't want to offend Gavin. You're a white guy. I mean, it's only the Offspring, only in an Offspring songs, okay? The Pretty Fly for a white guy. Maybe that applies to you, but it's going to be hard. It seems like Chuck Schumer, Tim Walz, no, that is not happening. Remember, you can be a white guy, but you have to be a white guy like Pete Buttigieg. Because if you are a white guy like Pete Buttigieg, for obvious reasons, you have 13 points, 14 plus points of advantage. Okay. Also, Joe Biden is in here. Oh my God. No, this is the best. I hadn't noticed this. Joe Biden is on top of Adam Schiff, and interpret that as you will. Yeah, the way that you heard it, that was the intention. And Hillary Clinton, Hillary must be happy that she barely beat John Fetterman. Barely. Just barely. All the others, Pete Buttigieg, I think that Pete Buttigieg, I've said that, I'm going to say that again. I have the idea that maybe you could have some kind of race, and Pete Buttigieg will try to go his presidential campaign, and maybe Gavin Newsom will do at the same time, and at some point, Pete Buttigieg will drop out and Gavin Newsom will pick Pete Buttigieg as his VP, because you know some representation in your campaign. Even Fetterman thinks they are off the track, says Lindy. Yes, I agree. And well, Jasmine Crockett, this is the kind of things. I played this clip this morning on my close quarters section. Representative Jasmine Crockett, we need illegals to pick our crops and clean our hotel rooms since the educated won't. Oh, that sounds like pre-Civil War here.
How many of you are sending your kids to college to go and work on them? Okay, well, guess who is working the farms? So that you can afford your food.
So that you can have food.
So that you can have food. Now,
it's like when Kelly Osbourne said on The View, who is cleaning your toilets? Who is going to clean your toilets, Mr. Trump? And a fraction of a second afterwards, she realized she effed up.
how many of you are looking to send your kids into hospitality after this college education so that they can go and make the beds at the hotels? How many of you are planning to send your kids to college? Because that's what we do here. We send everybody to college. How many of you are planning to send your kids to college so that they can then go and build these houses? So the reality is that so long as we live in a capitalist society, there's always going to be someone or a group of people that will do work that some of the rest of y'all don't want to do. These are the people that are really making us great in this country.
All right, so that is as long as we live in a capitalist society. That is the problem. These people are communists. These people have no other argument besides that. And that's why they're going to fail over and over again. And I will not be tired of them failing. Robbie Starbuck found something interesting. NBC News found that only 7% of Americans have a very positive view of Democrats. 7% of Americans have a very positive view of Democrats. All right, 7%. In an extremely hilarious twist, 7% of Americans also believe that chocolate milk comes from brown cows. And no, I'm not joking. I really wish I was. I'm willing to bet that it's the same 7%. We have a Venn diagram that is just a circle. That is one over the other. They overlap. There's right there. And Charlie Kirk had a very good point. A lot of talk about a Democrat civil war brewing. You saw it. The civil war is who's going to lead the party, and under which pretenses. What are the ideas? What are they going to stand for? Let's say that not ideas are going to push. No, what are you going to stand for? Which is the most important thing. But consider their current debates, because you can have different opinions, right? Should men play in women's sports? I mean, the problem is not the debate itself, but it's the question should not exist in itself. Oh, you're saying that there should not be no dialogue. No, there should be no dialogue. There should be no argument about this. There should be no conversation about this topic. That is asinine. This should not be a thing at all. Well, should we cut waste, fraud, and abuse? What is the other option? Have waste, fraud, and abuse? Is that the other option? I don't understand. Should we run 2 trillion annual deficits? Nobody wants that. Should we have a border or no? No, they don't want a border. They want to flood states with illegal so they can, have more seats in Congress. Should firebombing a Tesla stores be a crime? And maybe they will say that, maybe it's not that much of a crime. Should we deport illegal rapists and murderers? You know that there was a judge that I should be talking about briefly, that let's say he made sure to the Trinidad be returned to the United States. I will be talking about that in a minute. So far, they managed to pick the losing end of nearly every 80-20 issue imaginable. In 2024, they sided with mentally ill men who wanted to humiliate women in the sports, and they're following it up by siding with Hamas propagandists and people who firebombed car dealerships. So you tell me if anybody who tries to take the reins of the Democrat Party can go anywhere with this. No, they will be able to. Dodge designer breaking: Americans' favorable view of the Democratic Party has fallen to 29%, 29%, the lowest ever recorded in CNN's polling dating back more than 30 years. More than 30 years. And remember that this is CNN, so we're talking about the audience of CNN. The people that must have brain damage by this point, and even so, they don't like Democrats. Matt Gold has a point about this as well. Trump is continuously putting the Democrats in a position to defend the indefensible. Venezuelan gangbangers are being deported to El Salvadorian jails, ignoring the orders of a federal judge who said not to. Now, Democrats are forced to demand gangbangers be shipped back to the U.S., making them look even more insane. Yeah, that's brilliant. That is brilliant. And yet there's people on the right that saying Trump isn't doing enough and you're a subversive if you call them retarded. Useless and eternally unsatisfied contrarians, not serious people. Yeah, I think that so far, Trump is doing really well with that part of the battle. How it's not only making America great again, but also making Democrats bury themselves. He's not doing that. Democrats are doing that themselves, and it's amazing to watch. I would like to know what do you think about this in the comments.